I've had too much vodka already.
You lightweights. That's all I have to say.
Oh my gosh. So Tuesday after you left, like we stayed talking for a good hour and a half. It was great. Like, and I think at one point I was like, guys, I think this is what we actually intended for all this to be.
Yeah,
And I told these two knuckleheads, I was like, y'all don't have to act like board members on the show. Like, just act like yourselves, you knuckleheads.
Yeah.
All right.
You can't shake the board member. You can't shake the board member out of these two. That's why I'm not going to ever be on the board.
Relax.
We're live. You're a co-host. I'm sharing the screen, and you know what I got to do.
Yep, me too. Love you, Adrian.
Okay, bye. This is what happens, you guys. The old men have to pee. So I have to stay online. With the old men in their bladder. So I have to stay online. In other news, it's time for Dads After Dark, and I'm going to post the link in like 5 seconds. See you soon. Pick it!
Okay.
Juan brought Momo today to the theater because he had to pick up all the pots and pans that he took from David without telling David. So he
Oh my
came to
goodness.
pick them up today and brought Momo for a few minutes. So I got to hold the kitten in the middle of the chaos.
He's not happy.
Oh, poor baby.
He's like, why am I out of my safe spot? You see his crazy leg.
Wait,
You
let me
see it?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Hi.
Poor guy.
Poor little dude. He's like, no, let me out. Last night, Caden was carrying him around the house, and he did that where he like climbed up Caden and he like sunk one of his claws into Caden's chest, and Caden just like threw him across the room. We're like, no. Now Caden won't hold him.
Oh. used to being stabbed.
Yeah.
That's what it's like to be a cat parent.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear him. I take it. Y'all, I'm drinking a pineapple margarita and it is delicious.
Just tequila, pineapple. What else? The normal way to make margarita, or what?
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
Pineapple juice.
Sweet.
Instead of sex.
I don't know. I heard a lobby for Charlotte to join the Topo group, but that's Dana's call, of course.
Okay, good. Dana's here now. I have to pee.
Dude, nobody's here.
There's no way I would add my wife to the Topo group. She's like, yeah, you love your Topo Chicos. I'm like, you can't even say it right. Like,
Topo.
no. Topo. Oh, look at the little one. The little guy.
He's like, put me back in my box or let me go.
Mm-hmm. That's cute. That's a cool name to pick it as the whole situation.
Who's Nick Lowe?
Nick Lowe. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Should I let him in?
Ask Adrian.
Yeah.
Nick Lowe?
Oh, Nick Lowe. I wonder if that's what's her name's. Would that be her brother or no?
What's her name? Goodness gracious.
Samantha. I'm sorry. I mean,
Susan.
Susan.
Oh,
Golly.
jeez, dude.
I answered to Samantha. It's fine. Samantha.
I'm
Goodness
so
gracious.
sorry. I literally was.
I don't even know Samantha.
Hey, Catherine. Susan, do you remember in Rock of Ages when we had the girl in the ankle boot with the crutches zooming?
Yes.
That was Catherine.
Oh, hi.
Hello. I'm no longer broken.
Oh, thank goodness. You're fixed now.
That's debatable.
Yeah.
Oh my
Matter of opinion.
Dana, play the intro.
Oh, I'm mid pour. Just 5 seconds. You are so demanding, Adrian. Where?
Susan, I was just doing the thing from Rock of Ages where he's like Constance, Connie, all that. That's why I said Samantha. It was just it was a line from the show.
Nice recovery, Mike. Yeah, nice recovery.
Yeah, whatever.
You know that, so it's now, let's see, Rock of Ages opened like 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago off Broadway, and I lived next door to the guy who played the narrator.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Shiloh.
Hello. In like right now. He doesn't play the narrator now, but he played the narrator.
So Shiloh actually had a question that we didn't get to today, and she wanted to know and I know this is hard to answer, but what was your favorite? Okay, sorry, Dana, play the intro.
You just told me to play the intro.
Do it, did you?
Step it.
Never.
Oh.
Fill your glasses up and sit your asses down. Coming to you live from their living rooms to yours, it's time for Dad's After
Dark. Welcome to Dad's After Dark. Woo!
Hello.
Yay. That was written and performed by theater company family.
That's impressive.
Yeah, no, they're pretty incredible. But Shiloh would like to know what your favorite show has been to company manage so far.
Whew.
It's like picking your favorite child, right?
It really is. I'm gonna say that for me, Once has a place in my heart that is just, I can't replace it. The from the creative team to I worked on it both on Broadway and on the road. Every actor, every crew person, everybody that I interacted with on Once was amazing. they're stupid talented, which was incredibly frustrating to someone who like I've like played the oboe for 15 years. So like sure I can play the oboe, but like can I play the guitar? I can't. Um they would just like come into the wings like before the show started or before intermission was over, and they would just be like doo jam jam jam, and like someone would come over and be like what key are you in, and they'd be like oh whatever D, and they just like cool, they just like jam like
That's
in
awesome.
harmony, and then like the mandolin would come in, they jam, and like the accordion, like whatever. It was just like so stupid. They had so much talent, and it was infuriating, and that's why I love them so much.
That was the most incredible thing about the show, like because I didn't know what I was going in for. I didn't see it on Broadway, but I saw their tour at the Hobby Center, and not knowing, because I'd seen the movie, my dad and I loved the movie, but not knowing how the show was structured, having the music just kind of start and then the show began and you didn't even realize it.
Oh my god, the way that John Tiffany, who is the director of that show, he holds a special place in my heart. He holds a special place in my mom's heart because, as I mentioned, like in the earlier recording, I do a lot of stuff which is like finding housing for people, and like I do that kind of stuff. And so I had to find housing for John Tiffany while he was in town to go from New York Theater Workshop to Broadway, and I had to find housing for him. And then like he like got to his housing, he was like, I need all this stuff, and like, he needed like a tea kettle and like all this stuff that British people need. And like, I got him all this stuff and like just checked in on him and made sure he was okay. And so like when he left to go back to Scotland or England, and I went to go clean out his apartment, he had left a note for me that was just like, thank you for everything you did, which like is so ridiculously rare that like I like took a photo of it. I sent this to like everybody I knew. He left me flowers, he left me peppermint tea, and he was like, please like drink this and like relax whenever you get stressed out, like everything you do is great. And I was just like, anything this man does, like I will follow him to the ends of the earth. So when he won the Tony for Harry Potter, I was just like, yep, of course you did. You're the greatest human on the whole planet. It's so easy to win the hearts of a company manager. Like a $10 Starbucks gift card will get you just so far.
This was the show once?
This is on Once,
and there's a movie?
Yes.
There's a movie.
I'm familiar with the show.
It was originally a movie, yeah.
You gotta watch it.
It's a great movie.
Dana, I'm gonna bring it tomorrow.
Yeah. Question about
it's a great movie, but
I don't have a VHS player.
I will argue this. It's a better live show.
I have it on DVD, jackass. Okay.
Question about that too. When they were, I was here when the tour came through Bryan College Station, and they had the cast was basically doing like a little jam session for about 20 minutes before the show started. Did they do that on Broadway as well? Or?
Yep. Yeah, we started. So our half-hour call on Broadway was usually, your show's at 8, your half-hour call's at 7:30. Our half-hour was at 7:10. Excuse me. And they would play 3 songs, which were every night. They would change them, and then the 3 songs leading into the show were scripted. So that like they play 3 songs, so like they just kind of like come wander out while people were on stage getting their beers and like doing all that stuff. She kind of felt like you were in a pub, and then like it's scripted to like come down to like all of a sudden now like the lights are going to half, and now like all of a sudden you're like, oh, now I'm in like the story. It was so cool how they did that, because like you didn't even know it was happening, and then all of a sudden you were like immersed in the story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, Steve Kazee, who won the Tony for the show, now is like Jenna Dewan's beautiful baby daddy, and they have this gorgeous son.
It sure is. I'm
God.
happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he's found happiness. He was a lovely guy and an amazing performer.
He's so stupid talented. Susan, right below you is Carrie Kemp, who was our Connie Constance.
Oh, right. Hi.
Hi.
Taylor, what was your name in Rock of Ages?
Hertz.
Yes. Oh, you were the illegal female Hertz.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, and then to the other side, David, he was our dentist.
Oh, okay. Oh, hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Well, I mean, yes,
again.
Again.
Rod, oh, Pickett. We finally get to see Pickett. Sweet little kitty.
Yep.
I'm not afraid of him anymore.
Well, that's good. Susan, this is the kitten he just rescued, literally, that was hanging on his fence. Rodney, do you want to ask the next question that we have for?
Oh, you know me with Dads After Dark. I've not paying attention. All right, so Parker Greer, who was on here last week, which was kind of cool. He wants to know first, what's your favorite memory of working in New York, and then also, I don't know if you have any knowledge of Parker Greer, but he is the most adorable tiny human you've ever seen.
Oh, he also wants on last week.
Yes,
yeah.
We saw him last week.
He was the wee.
Yes.
The wee baron. He wants to know that whenever he turns 18, he wants to know if he can come work as your intern.
My favorite memory of working in New York, I will say,
hold it, because he's joining right now.
Oh, he's gonna join. Okay,
sweet.
I'm gonna wait. I'll wait for that.
He's literally joining. This is so perfect. Parker was actually one of the people. He and his whole family came yesterday to the theater to clean and double check everything. They were
sweet.
Incredible.
Theater people, you can't beat them. They're the greatest.
You seriously can't. Resourceful.
I mean, I will say, having been going back a little bit to having the brain tumor, I know that it sounds very lackadaisical, but I was just like, oh, so I have this brain tumor and I have to get it out, and like whatever, that's what's happening. My theater community at Chicago gave me, not only did they send me like seamless gift cards and like socks and food and like things to give my family who were in town taking care of me, and they came to visit me, and they gave me all these amazing things, but they also gave, you give to your own. And so the money that they raised for me paid for basically my whole surgery. And that is one of the things I love about theater, is that, it doesn't matter how connected you are. It's just like, oh, that's our theater family. We got to pitch in, It's awesome.
Last night specifically, so I ventured out to a bar for the first time, rooftop bar where literally no one else was there, which was great. I had people Venmoing me for drinks.
That's so sweet.
and buying drinks, because they knew not only had like our roof collapsed, but also I was dealing with this crazy, my dog spent 3 days at a hospital.
That's right, I saw that.
Yeah, so it's like I had 1 day to kind of mentally recover from that, and then everything's happening at the theater, so I go out for a drink, and I had like a list of people that were like, hey, here's round 2, hey, make it a double, like theater family, for sure.
I halfway expected your mom to message me, since we were both like, how are you going to get home? I halfway expected her to say, you're closer than I am, would you go make sure that she makes it home?
You better believe she texted me first thing this morning to say, who drove you home? And I was like, Mother, I told you, I rode my bike. I was yeah.
I don't know if that made me feel any better.
I've done that before, actually, from the corner bar, as a matter of fact.
Susan, look, it's Mandy.
Hold on, let me turn on the sound. There's Susan. She's going to say hi.
Hi, Bunny. Hi.
Hold on.
Oh, kitty.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Scott Parker's currently connecting.
Can somebody talk so I can hear?
Oh yes, can you hear me now?
Hello.
Check 1 2 3.
Hello.
Anything but that.
Thank
Hello.
you. Thank you.
Dana, shush.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, shut up. Okay, while Parker is still connecting, I want to jump to yay, there he is. Scott, is Parker here? Because we're about to ask his question.
Well, it's like he likes it.
We're going to. Yay.
He's on his way.
He's on his way. Okay. Well, before Parker gets here, I'm going to jump to, I know Mike is kind of in transit, but Susan, Mike Kilgore, one of our dads, has never seen the musical once, but it's something that he there he is. Hey, what's up, Mike?
Sorry.
He, without seeing the show, has just completely fallen in love with the music. And I know we talked a lot about that show because it is so special. But what else did you want to know about that show, Mike?
Oh, I think you answered it, Susan, just how it was working with that company. And I mean, I think you already definitely described it as one of your favorite experiences. I do a lot of biking, and I just basically put on a musical, and I just happened to select on Amazon once, and I cannot stop listening to it. Like, I just cannot. I probably know everything by heart now. It's just crazy.
So you weren't falling slowly in love with it?
Oh,
oh my God.
No.
I will say, you know, I mean, I love that. I love the show from the minute I got hired. It was such a special thing. But you know, we did Falling Slowly for most of our press appearances, and when we got to the Tonys, we wanted to do something different, and that was the first time that we did Gold live. And so if you go to the Tonys, it was like 2012, I think, and watch that performance. You can picture me in the wings just like sobbing because like a dream of mine is just like coming true, and it's just like so hard to like handle. Watching them do Gold for the first time. I mean, like watching them do Gold like from a day-to-day basis is amazing, but watching them do Gold for the Tonys, the rehearsal to the live performance was just it was just such a special thing. That the music is so beautiful. The fact that they're all playing their own instruments, it's just like and the movement, like Stephen Hoggett does such an amazing job of making them move with their instruments, so it's not awkward. It's just like part of like what's like, you're not distracted by any of it. It's just like it feels like, yeah, that's part of like what's happening. And as Kristen Milioti was like walking through, you know, through the band to like get to the bar, you're not really thinking of like what the physical thing that's happening is. Like, oh, she's walking through these random instruments. It's like she's like literally like floating through the music to get to the guy. It's I can't. It's an amazing thing still, that like if I was to watch it live today, I would probably still burst into tears. It was an amazing thing to be a part of.
I get emotional just thinking about that Tony performance, because that rendition of Gold is just one of the most stirring, and it's such an example of how beautiful simplicity can be. You don't need, 10,000 dancers. You don't need these big set changes. You just need vulnerability and just genuine emotion, and that their Tony performance is literally just jaw-dropping, because
it also helps that the producers of the Tony Awards loved Once.
Good.
So it definitely helped that they loved that show, so they definitely gave us all the best that they could give. But that was also one of the first years I felt for the Tonys that they filmed. So basically for the Tony Awards, you used to make your set. Like if you go back probably any earlier than maybe 2010, the set that you would use on the Tony Awards, you would have to build separately. And it would be basically your tour set. And 2012, 2011, maybe, they started filming like a still film of your backdrop. So you no longer had to bring in a full set, because, being on the Tony Awards, like when I was on Rock of Ages, that's like $300,000. It's a lot of money, because you're having to create everything from scratch. And now they come in and they film your backdrop. And so you maybe only have to bring like 2 or 3 pieces of scenery. That makes your Tony appearance, because what they don't tell you is that your show pays for the Tony appearance. And so,
whoa,
and so that's, easily between, $80,000 and $300,000 of a production, depending on what you're doing. So the fact that they can now scan basically the back of your, set backdrop, and then you can just bring on like a table or like a whatever, has made it a lot more accessible to shows.
I can't believe they scanned. Like, that was actually one of my questions, is how the heck do all of these Broadway shows recreate their set for this, minute, 3 to 5 minute performance?
Yeah. So now that, they come in, they scan, they literally just like take their cameras, they scan across, and that's the backdrop that they now put on. So on the Tony Awards, they now just have like backdrops of screens. So when they come and lower, that's what's showing up as the backdrop. And then whatever you're bringing to the table, like you maybe have a desk or you maybe have a chair or whatever you're bringing, like that's all you have to create, but you no longer have to create, a scene that makes it look, realistic.
That's amazing.
Do they project it from the back, I guess?
It's just it's part of the projection. Yeah, it is a production design, but it's projected into the LED. So like they take like, it's basically, I mean, I'm a company manager. I'm basically like a glorified accountant, but I'm like, they take like a screenshot basically of what your stage looks like, and then they project that onto the LED screens across the Tony stage, and then that's how they make it work.
Kind of a
And it
fancier
becomes
version.
a lot more cost efficient.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a little bit
version of
above
Sunday in the
budget
Park.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a little bit above budget for what we were thinking about for It Should Have Been You, but
Our
Fair.
budget for It Should Have Been You is 0.
Well, that was a fun show, though.
Susan, we'll talk about our COVID plans later on. But we have Parker Greer here now.
Parker's here.
Oh, he's here.
He's here.
Hi, Parker.
All right, so just to remind you of Parker's question. Parker's question is, what is your favorite memory of working in New York? And then, of course, he wants to know if he can work for you as an intern.
First of all, listen, Parker, if you want to be on the backstage side of things in New York, you look me up when you turn 25. I feel like that's the age that that like that's what you want to do. If you want to be an actor, my job is not for you. But if you want to work behind the scenes, you hit me up. My favorite moment of working on Broadway, I've been so lucky. I've had so many. I think my favorite moment is honestly sitting in my apartment. No, it was sitting at, this is going back to working on Once. We had you think that like they invite everyone to the Tony Awards if you worked on the show. They don't. Everybody doesn't get to go to the Tony Awards. So Steve and Kristen got to go to the Tony Awards for once, and then the rest of us were sitting at a bar in Hell's Kitchen. And we were sitting there. I was with my sister, my brother-in-law, my cousin Susan, and they announced that we had won Best Musical. And it was a moment where I was just like, oh my God, all of my dreams have come true, like in this moment. I've had a lot of moments that I've treasured since then, and a lot of moments before then. But at that very moment, I was sitting in a bar in Hell's Kitchen, watching the Tony Awards like on a big screen with like, all the kids. We had kids in the cast. We had all the understudies and whatever. And I just was like, this is what I've dreamed of my whole, like, I didn't even know that this is possible. And this is like what I've dreamed of. And we won the Best Musical. And that is my favorite moment. And it's pretty cool.
I was texting Kate Mitchell, like encouraging her to hurry up and get on here. And I was telling her, I was like, this whole episode has me like all sorts of emotional. And she was like, wait, why? And I was like, wait, why? But this whole episode has been just so full of like first full circle moments. And then every time we talk about like, what you've done and, how you got there, I keep like what keeps flashing in my brain is literally like the ceiling tiles that have collapsed all over the theater. And so regardless of like what it's going to take us to like get this theater back online, like I know we're going to. So it's crazy because I feel like I've been postponing a lot of my emotions over the past, I don't know, maybe month. I don't even know. Susan, oh my God. Okay, I was hoping this would happen and he's here. And just wait. I'm really excited about this. Blake Rogers is here.
Oh, Blake! Oh, customer number one.
Yes.
He's here.
What a strange and unusual
What a strange and unusual plant.
You guys are
Blake,
crazy.
oh my God.
You summoned me into existence, Susan.
Cheers to you. I was talking about you, so you had to come on and join.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, it's Michelle Green.
I did. I talked about us, Blake, studying our accounting in the back row of the audition for Little Shop of Horrors, and we were just like, I don't know what's happening, but this is like debits and credits, so like whatever.
Everyone, this is literally one of my first friends at the theater company, Blake Rogers.
Cool.
Yay!
Oh, Blake.
Hi, Blake.
Hi.
Wait,
Hey,
AJ,
everybody.
is this OG Marcus?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But this is one of the three like notorious Blakes. Like when we talk about the shows that had the three Blakes, Blake, this is you. This is, I'm so happy to see your face. You have no idea.
It's good to see you. Why there were 3 Blakes, I do not know. Michelle Green, you look the exact same age as when we did Charlie Brown, and that was like 15 years ago.
I think it was
It's
3
the
years
line.
ago. I think it was just 3 years ago.
Really poor
15
life.
years ago, it sounds wrong.
Who were you? Were you in Charlie Brown, Blake?
I was.
You were okay. That was the first show I ever saw at the theater company because I'm friends with Gigi. And
Oh,
so
there you go. Yes.
I've known Gigi for like way long time. So
Yeah, Gigi,
Where are you calling from? Where are you at?
This is
my dining room.
Where's your dining room?
It's
His
in
house.
Euless, Texas.
Okay. I've lived there before.
So Blake, welcome to Diva Dads. This is Dads After Dark. So it's like
Yes.
part 2 of our weekly episode. But we were just talking about how Susan, if she hadn't ended up in New York working on Broadway, she could have been a boring accountant in Dallas.
What's up? Sorry, Blake. I'm sorry.
She could have had your life, Blake.
I also talked about the fact that I ran into you in Schubert Alley, so like it wasn't all bad.
That's okay. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't spend all my time being a boring accountant.
So wait, this is so kismet because okay, Blake does not. Have you ever heard of Diva Dads before? Do you know what we're doing at all?
Well, I don't know what you're doing, but I've heard of it. I've watched pieces of it before.
Oh, yay! That makes me really happy.
Worldwide.
But
Worldwide.
Blake's husband
worth it,
Larry,
Dana.
Blake's husband Larry is an incredible choreographer and also director and does a lot of theater work in Dallas. And Blake messaged me like literally, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, out of the blue. Yes?
Yes, out of the blue.
To tell me about Larry's show. And I was like, holy cow, I'm gonna, Larry!
Hi.
And I was like, I'm gonna need you to join this Zoom link right now.
Yeah, this is like theater company, like 6 generations of
OG,
theater
it's
company
like
in here.
2001
Every week it's
theater
like
company.
this. Every week in the After Dark, there's all these different kind of generational segments and generational.
So
It's
long
crazy.
So funny
Awesome.
is I saw Blake Petty a couple of days ago because he came to pick up Jackson Petty from kids camp.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Blake Petty was my roommate in college.
Yes. Full
I'm
circle.
so sorry.
His child was an infant when I moved to New York.
Yes, I told Jackson that he was the in kids camp. He was the person with the oldest theater company career because he appeared on stage in utero in Sweeney Todd. Legitimately.
Sweeney.
Okay, I think we have a couple more questions from like the regular episode.
Okay.
Oh, it's my mother. That's why.
Oh, your mom. What's up?
My mom.
Moms.
My mom wants to know, and I tacked on to this because, of course, she asked about the juicy stuff. She wants to know who has been the easiest people to work with in rehearsal.
So I will say I don't work with people in rehearsal. That's just the stage managers work with them in rehearsal. So I get them. So I work with people like if they don't live in New York, I work with them pre coming to New York, and then I work with them like once they're in the show. I've been very fortunate. I have not had a lot of difficult people to work with. The thing is like once you are more popular, or more famous, I guess, you have more people who are working for you. And, so you deal with just like a different level of people. But I will say I've been really lucky that I have not had a lot of jerks to work for. Everyone that has been a part of the shows I've worked on have been really lovely. Ed Harris's people have been wonderful.
Big deal.
He's been wonderful. I've been really lucky to work with him, and who knows? The way that the deal worked out for the Broadway League and Equity, maybe he comes back for 6 weeks, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe Greg Kinnear comes in. Like, who knows? Like, but I think people who come to Broadway, they understand like what they're doing. So like they're coming in to work, and for the most part, they're pretty solid people to work with.
I had a tack on to that question because I know part of this, but so you were the company manager of Chicago for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that you do is you deal with the contracts of all the guest stars that come in. And so I want to know who your favorite has been.
I will not lie. I'm a huge fan of Jane the Virgin. So when Jaime Camille came in, I was beside myself. Like hoping this never gets back to him. When I came backstage, so like my job is like the show goes up, I come back and I sign a statement at the box office, like agreeing that like all the money is the same and whatever. And then I like went back, like usually I would just leave, but then I came backstage at Chicago at that point, and Billy Flynn is in a full tux, right? Like that's his job. And I came backstage and ran into Jaime Camille in a full tux and had like a mental breakdown. He was so gorgeous. I feel like my face just like went full like bright red. I like had to like leave. I had to like just like turn around and like walk out of the theater. He's been my favorite person because I mean I love Jane the Virgin, but he's the Tom Cruise in Mexico. Who doesn't love him?
Does anyone raise your hand? Does anyone watch Real Housewives other than myself? Okay, thank you. Oh gosh, Carrie, this will make sense to you. So a couple of seasons ago, Luann on a reunion was like, well, I've just been cast as Mama Morton in Chicago, so whatever. Susan, was Countess Luann ever cast in Chicago?
I have no comment on that story.
But a couple of months later, which Real Housewife was cast in Chicago?
That would have been
Erica Jane.
Erica Jane. I was like, I'm totally blanking on her name. That was when I was interviewing for another job, so like I don't know.
She went up the day after I left, which killed me because I would have loved to see it.
I will say that when I worked at Chicago for 4 years, and nobody cared at all. And then they cast Erica Jane, and then everyone in my entire life cared so much. And I was like, that's fine. I got another job. I don't know who she is. I don't know. And they were just like, how could you leave when Erica Jane was coming in? And I was just like,
That was my question. But also, not the last time, but the time before when I was in New York, I was excited because Katie Huffman was playing Matron Mama Morton.
Yes.
So I went to go see her.
Yes.
And for anyone who was curious about what Susan's job is as a company manager, I was messaging her like, hey, I'm here. And you were like, I am literally in my office. Enjoy the show.
Katie Huffman, she won a Tony Award for The Producers, which is back in the time that I was just living in College Station. It was just like, this is the greatest. She's amazing. She was amazing. She was so fun to work. Like the fun thing about Chicago was that there was always people coming in and out, and I got to work with so many fun people. And Katie Huffman was just such a pro. Oh, she was so good. She was such a blast to work with.
He was so good. I messaged Susan as the show was ending. I was like, okay, this is what I think. And I was telling her about various cast members that like stuck out to me. And there was one of the 6 Mary Murderesses that I was like, hey, this one was amazing. I've never heard it like that before. And I think you told me that was like her first month in the show.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember who that was, but they worked really hard to keep Chicago relevant, to keep it fresh, to keep it so that people enjoyed it, so people who were coming in. I mean, that show's been running since I was in high school. I'm 41 for the reference, and so that's a long time. And they work really hard to make sure that people feel connected to it. So the people who come in as the Mary Murderesses, they're pretty legit.
Maddie Sakula, will you wave? So Susan, waitress number 1 from Rock of Ages.
Yes. Your mom's on the phone. Who's this person who's asleep? Taylor's iPhone?
That was
it's
her.
me. I'm sorry.
I literally just told like 2 people, I think Taylor's asleep.
I'm awake.
Am I so boring? I'm so boring. I'm sorry.
No, you're not boring. It's so fascinating. I'm just like it's like background noises that soothe you. You know what I mean?
She's just like, the background of Broadway is just so soothing.
Anyone will tell you that like I will fall asleep at the most inopportune moment.
She does sleep at the theater a lot. It's fun.
That's true. Okay, so while we have this person on Dads After Dark, does anyone else have a question for Susan that we haven't gotten to? Oh, also Madeline, wave. There's our Sherry.
Oh, Sherry.
Yes. Sherry. Oh, Sherry. And Michelle's here. Michelle, is Deborah around, or is she stretching?
Oh, there she is.
Pop in and out, yeah.
Dear.
She's coming in from another side.
Yeah, she's true. Yeah,
she's like doing stuff. It's fair. I get it.
Gotta keep us on our toes.
She's literally always doing stuff.
Shiloh.
I'd be concerned if I saw her in the window.
That's true. Shiloh, do you have any other questions for Susan?
Let's see.
Her name is Shiloh, and she has a Shiloh Road.
Shiloh Road.
Yeah. Best
Sweet.
birthday gift ever. What has been your favorite? This is random. What's been the best pizza you've had in New York?
All right, so this is a hard question for me to answer because the best pizza I had in New York, I have to go back. Like, you're used to, like, I already was like, here are the questions I'm answering. I have to go back like 7 years. So I sing in my church choir at St. Ignatius Loyola, which is at 84th and Park. And we used to go out for pizza every Sunday night. And I would go to work on Monday morning, like totally hungover. And they'd be like, what's up? And I was like, oh, my church choir drinks so much. So we used to go to this place called Titano's, which was on 82nd and 2nd. And it was the best pizza ever. And they closed.
No.
So now you can go to Gitano's, but you have to go out to Coney Island, and that's where the best pizza is. Apart from that, there's some. I live in Queens, so there's some pretty good pizza places in Queens. I love Dino's in Queens. I love Astoria Park Pizza in Queens. That's my answer.
Nice.
That's a good question, Shiloh. Good job.
That's important.
It's important. Like, if you go to Queens, it's important. Otherwise, not so much.
Maddie.
Yes. So you mentioned earlier that you work with a lot of the people who don't necessarily live in New York or, at that time. How often do they pull people in outside of New York for a show?
Asking for a friend.
I mean, that really depends on a casting director. I will say usually the people are based in New York or LA.
Okay.
We right now have an actor that plays Boo Radley and Link Dees, who's from Austin. He is also happens to be hard of hearing. So he does his testimony halfway in sign, and the actors that are playing around him translate that for him. But I will say that it's a majority of people are based in New York or LA. That's just kind of how that happens to me.
Yeah.
So can you tell us, so you've told us officially that To Kill a Mockingbird is probably not coming back until March. Can you tell us a little bit about like what the general goal of Broadway is to come back?
That's something I wish I knew more on. Working in theater, it's a collaborative art form, and I just don't know. I don't know how you do that without a vaccine, without, I'm here in Arlington. They finally put into effect a mask is mandatory in Tarrant County here as effective tomorrow.
It's about to happen.
Yeah. It's not a financially feasible thing for us to do every fifth seat. We can't do that. And so it's hard. I don't know. I want to believe that I believed in my heart that theater is going to come back, because you can't have a society without the arts, and that matters so much. But from a physical, literal translation of that, hopefully by next March we have a vaccine and people feel comfortable coming back to New York, because it's not just the fact that we live and breathe in these little tiny spaces. Broadway houses are very tiny. They're very small. You have actors, you have dressers, you have hair people. It's all happening in a very, very small space. And you just can't do it if you are feeling that you're vulnerable to any sort of disease from that. So it's hard for me to think that you can do this without a vaccine. I just don't know, because you just can't have a third of the audience. You can't support the cost of what it is. So I don't have an answer for that. It's really hard. And as someone who just literally was just told that my job's not coming back for 9 more months, it's hard. I just don't know what to do. And the fact that unemployment, the federal unemployment runs out at the end of July, and then my unemployment personally in New York runs out at the end of December. What do you do? It's really hard.
Blake, how is Larry's? It's Firehouse Theater, right?
Oh yeah.
How are they doing?
I would say all the community theaters here are kind of in the same boat, which is that you are, Adrienne, and I got to listen to your interview with Mike Green. I think they're all in the same space. I mean, no one's opening. There's a couple of theaters that have braved some rehearsals in masks, but I think that's, given the infection rates climbing in Dallas County and Tarrant County, I think that's about to stop.
Yeah.
Again, so nothing. It's quiet.
We had 3 weeks of our kids' camp, which thank goodness had gone off safely. But our kids' camp says we normally have 40 kids and we put on a full show. This summer it's 15 kids max, and we do different sessions, and they basically get to create their own stories. But even with those 15 kids, everyone has to wear a mask. We try to keep them as separate as possible. It's just a totally different experience. And the masks, are as important as they are, make everything so difficult, because they do a little bit of a dance and everyone has to stop to breathe, because it's hard to catch your breath when you are like, your face is covered with a couple of layers of cloth. For anyone who doesn't know what's going on with our rehearsals, like, we have had some in-person rehearsals. They've been outside. And we put a stop to them as soon as, our cases started to climb. And as soon as, the virus got like close to home. So we had a cast member, and then we had like, someone at kids camp that was like, my family member was exposed. So as soon as we hear stuff like that, like, you have to come to a grinding halt. There's just no questions. Like, you have to stop. Thankfully, the people in question that we've had have all tested negative. But thanks to our community, and like, Blake, you guys are in Texas, so the state in general is not treating this as seriously as it needs to be. So until that happens, up until a week ago, we were already like, we had plans in motion to put up our show outdoors. But because this community is so dang irresponsible that Governor Abbott has to call us out by name, we can't do that, because even if as individuals and as a theater company, we can take precautions and we can be safe, we can't, in good conscience, invite an audience to even an outdoor space and expect it to go over well. So it's really frustrating, because follow the rules, wear a mask, do your part. So
your
we were
benefit there, Adrian.
No.
I know you give me grief a lot about my mask wearing. I wore a mask all day. When I went to the office, I went to the theater. Of course, you would have seen the picture of me logging into the alarm system.
I already have.
Yes, and I had my mask the entire time. So,
but here's my golf clap for you putting on your mask.
Golf clap for Dana. Acquiescing.
Yeah.
I got an 89-year-old grandma. Like, I need to be more careful.
Golf clap for Dana doing the bare minimum.
Sure, you know what? MMH, because I can't go through all that right now. But yes.
Thank you.
Yay,
Okay,
Dana.
so there's a section that we skipped in the show, because the actual episode was filled with like a really incredible information, but there's a section that we skipped, partially because I have these two gorgeous women here live, Casey Gilbert and Kate Mitchell. We are ready for, and of course anyone can add on to this, but Dear Daddy, do you have any questions for our diva dads?
Any question?
Well, other than how to nurse the hangover that you're both currently experiencing.
Okay.
Kate,
Okay, here's the thing. It's her fault.
Throw her into the basket.
We're drinking like seltzer and like ginger beer, trying to survive.
Here's my margarita.
Kate, is your hair purple?
Kate.
It is.
I love it.
Unicorn.
And Susan, you've met
Love
both
it.
of these lovely ladies.
Kate was my friend Katie's roommate until recently.
Katie Prue.
Yes.
Another full circle. But you've also met both of them at Don't Tell Mama when we go to hear Tara sing, because that's like the communal area. Whenever I come to New York, it's like, all right, any theater company?
So true. We come together and we just drink so much and just tip Tara everything, all money.
Yes. Take all my money. All right. Do you have any Dear Daddy questions?
I do.
Okay.
So I'm getting a tattoo soon.
Wait, you have to start Dear Daddy.
Dear Daddy.
Oh, Dear Daddy. I'm getting my first tattoo soon, and I haven't found a way to tell my parents who hate tattoos. What do I do, and how do I bring it up?
So I've got a really funny story about this. I don't have any tattoos, but my brother-in-law, he does have tattoos. He's a Marine, so he's allowed. He can have whatever he wants to.
I'm a Marine.
Yeah, see, there you go. But he got it. Mandy's mom is like, she is not. She hates tattoos. So he after he came back from Iraq, right?
Yeah.
So he came back from Iraq, and I guess he forgot, and so he was walking through the house without a shirt on. It was like either late at night or early in the morning.
It was, early in the morning.
Yeah. So he was walking through, and her mom saw the tattoo. Her mom,
One on each shoulder.
yeah, he's got one on each shoulder. So her mom was physically unable to talk to him for what?
No.
Like a week. Like she could not do it. Like she
Not
couldn't.
making me feel much better.
Yeah. So
The moral of the story is, how do you tell them before the event? That's how you.
yeah, don't either, like, you need to get your tattoo somewhere that you can consistently keep covered, and then always remember to keep covered.
And I disagree.
That's what I would say.
So the first tattoo I got was this one. I can't even make it. And it's like a Celtic knot with a treble clef because I'm Irish, Scottish, and musician. And the letters CD interlock with my wife's. She has an identical one, but it says DC because Dana Charles, that's my middle name. And my wife is Charlotte Denise. So when we hold hands, it says CDDC. It's cute. The next one I got, which you could have seen on the Diva Dads post with the dads and Adrian, and I have my big Irish four-leaf clover that's actually a Celtic knot as well. My mom is, good Christian woman, and she saw the one here and was like, oh, what is that? And I was like, that's my heritage and who I am. And she goes, well, I wouldn't think that you would have ever. And I said, well, check this one out, and showed her the big one on my shoulder. I said, if I'm going to be Scots Irish, then I should go all in. So I went ahead and did this. And she literally sat there for about 2 seconds and then realized the artistry in what it was and was like, well, how long did that take? Did it hurt? Then she started asking questions. But I made it, look, there's a reason. It's not like I just went out and got a freaking tattoo. Like there's meaning behind it.
Kate, here's my advice. When they see it for the first time, pretend that you've had it for 10 years.
That's good advice.
That's what I did. I did that for the first one. On the second one, the way that they saw my second one, which is significantly larger than the first one, was actually at Rocky Horror when we had the super revealing costumes, David and
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And they just thought it was part of the costume at first, and that's it. Blake Rogers, do you have any questions for Susan?
Yes, I do. Thank you for asking.
Oh boy.
Susan, and I apologize if you got asked this earlier. As company manager for Chicago, it felt like there was a bit of a revolving door of people in all kinds of roles all the time. How does the company pull together to get these people in their roles quickly? What does the process look like? How much time transpires between the time they sign the contracts and the time they're on stage?
Such a good question.
The thing about Chicago is people, so the core group ensemble of Chicago, I'm sorry. It's the vodka, I'm sorry. This is live now. Now I'm having hiccups. It's upsetting. They are so used to having people come in and out. The core group of Chicago, we would put people in a day before.
Whoa.
And they would just, if they were brand new to the show, they would rehearse for maybe a week. And then we would just put them in the show. And that's it. You were just in the show.
So if you watch the seasons of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you would know that Erica Jane had a single.
So maybe she had a month. I can't stop hiccuping. A month of rehearsal. But for people who were coming back to the show, we would literally hire them and they would rehearse on Tuesday or Monday because our schedule was Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, and then like Thursday through Sunday. So they would rehearse Monday at like 6:30. And so they would get like an hour of rehearsal and they would just like be in the show.
What was the name of her first name is Bianca, but she just
Mary Keene.
Yes. She just played Cheetah Rivera in the Ryan Murphy's Fosse Verdon.
She's amazing.
She was incredible as Rocky.
She's from the Valley. She's from oh my God. She's from the Valley.
She was insanely talented and probably the most exciting and also most like sympathetic Roxy I've ever seen in my life.
She's fantastic. I loved every moment I got to spend with her. She was great.
I'm looking up the ensemble member that I told you about when I saw her. But I have to tell you when I saw it and Katie Huffman was Mama Morton, she had a moment in, When You're Good to Mama, when there was a pause and no one like applauded or responded. I think I was there at a matinee, but I'm not sure. And I screamed out loud and she literally looked up into the balcony and was like, thank you. And then moved on. And I was like, I made it.
That was probably a very real moment because, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't stop them. It's very real because the fact is that Chicago is an audience that is, it's made up of a lot of people who don't speak English. That's just what it is. It's a huge hit overseas. And so for people who can know what they're saying, it's a different audience every night.
The girl who did Lip Shits, I told you Mary Sunshine blew my mind with that voice, and it was my favorite Lip Shits of all time. And you told me she just took over the role 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's fair. I can't answer questions because I'm hiccuping so much.
That's okay. That's okay.
Give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
No,
We're
good.
at the hour mark though, so we can go ahead and go into after dark. We thank all of y'all for joining. There's been a couple of people chime in, like Sarah Miller. I'll give her a shout out. She made a comment on our post.
Oh, yay.
Thank you guys for joining. We will continue this without being streamed, and that's when the fun begins. Thank you guys. Bye from the Diva Dads.
Good night.
Bye. Sleep well, Taylor.
I'm awake.